Let's now bring in Chief Executive Officer at the Prominent Energy Solutions, Lindo Ngema, to weigh in on the public hearings conducted by Nersa regarding tariff increases for next year. Very good afternoon to you, and thank you so much for your time. So Eskom is asking the regulator for a 36% tariff increase kicking off next year, April. This is on top of the 4% increase that was granted by Nersa to recover its losses amounting to billions in the 2021-22 financial year. What is the rationale for this latest hike?
Hi, Nati, and hi to the viewers as well. Thank you so much for having me this afternoon. I think the 36% application that Eskom is putting to Nersa is quite high. Already to think about that, some people in winter, they pay roughly over 6 rand per unit of electricity. And for Eskom to ask for further increase on top of the high tariff that we are coming from, if you remember very well, the Nersa approved 13% on the past financial year. And if they're going to be considering such a high amount, I think it will put a strain, more especially to the household within South Africa, because I foresee the cost of living getting high in relation to the increase on the electricity cost if it is approved. So we are at a stage right now where if somebody uses an average of 600 units, those are the low income earners, though they do have the free basic electricity, which generally give them just 50 units. They are spending over 1,500 on a monthly basis on just 600 units. And if there is definitely an approval on a 36%, we will be looking at definitely over 2,000 on a normal household. So this will definitely be deepening on energy poverty, and people cannot afford to pay these tariff costs. Even when you're looking at on a global market, we've got big companies like mining and agriculture that will not be able to compete on a global market if they have to bear so much cost in terms of electricity, because it won't make them compatible into the market. So I think that the 36% is quite high, and it's going to create a bit of sort of inflation if it is approved.
Understandably, most South Africans are up in arms. I mean, Capetonians have already voiced their concern in the public hearings. Most have called for Nersa to reject Eskom's application. I foresee this will be the sentiment across the 9 provinces. How much of the public sentiments, though, do you think will play a role in Nersa's final decision, just having looked at previous public hearings?
Definitely, I think a public's view and their votes at this stage will definitely play a significant role, because nobody would basically agree to a 36%. You know, definitely, if you look at everybody, even on social right now, everybody is really against the 36% increase. Even when we reflect back when the 13% was approved, people were not basically approving any increase, given the fact that some businesses and some people are still recovering from the power outages that have been taking place over the last financial year, where most companies have been burning a lot of diesel, and most companies have spent a lot of money to solar investment, trying to cushion themselves where they were having most hours without electricity from the load shedding. They definitely voting that this should not be approved. So we are looking at the public definitely rejecting the application that Eskom has put to Nersa.
I mean, just talking about the affordability of lack thereof for most South Africans, what is your view on, how Eskom cannot make ends meet? Because in the main, most municipalities are, owing Eskom billions of rand, and they seemingly are not being held accountable for this. Where are your views there in terms of municipalities needing also to pay their debt?
Currently, I think municipality owes about 78 billion to Eskom, and each year the debt keeps growing by an average of about 1.5 billion rand annually. And there is only one way to basically ensure that municipalities pay Eskom, because just like any consumer in South Africa, if you don't pay your bill, Eskom, or if you are on a direct, if you're a direct municipal customer, if you don't pay your bill, there is a consequence that you're going to be switched off. So if municipalities can start experiencing that pain of being basically switched off by Eskom if they are owing, and having to pay off all the amounts that will be due for those people that have paid them, because municipalities like a middleman when it comes to electricity. They buy from Eskom and they sell to consumers. If consumers are paying, that means that municipality is not paying Eskom. So there is a mismanagement of funds somewhere, somehow, and not unless Eskom take a stand of switching them off, which obviously is going to be the pain to the people that are paying, but they can always recover those losses, maybe via credit or whatever. So municipality will have like a huge debt to pay to consumers for being without power that actually paid, but I'm quite sure that there could be some form of collection that Eskom can get from municipality, rather than to keep on increasing the tariffs to recover, when the actual issue or the borders of the issues around the debts that municipality or the consumption that municipality is not paying in turn after recouping from the consumers.
Lindo, I'm not sure if you'll recall, earlier this year, Electricity and Energy Minister Dr. Kgosientsho Ramokgopa, he said that a review of South Africa's electricity pricing policy will be launched with the aim of addressing especially some of the things that you're speaking of, a rising affordability crisis, which is really undermining a lot of poor South Africans. Just in terms of the minister's role here, how critical is it that something like this should be expedited?
I'm sure that obviously it's not allowed, or it won't be permitted that when Eskom could just switch off. It becomes political, but in this instance, because right now we are looking at, if you look at the numbers and you listen to the other interview, you'll definitely see that each year, it looks like each municipality, because out of the 78 billion that is owed, which is almost 90 billion on the latest record, I think about 12 billion is for the major metros. If nothing happens in terms of ensuring that these recoveries are done, I think the debt will keep on accumulating, and in the other 10, the person that is being affected, it's the consumers on the other end, because Eskom only result in increasing prices. I know that there are some other programs like debt relief program that they put in place to try assist municipalities in terms of recovering, and Minister is behind those debt relief programs to ensure that those who are already owing or who have debt, bigger debt with municipalities, they have discount in place and rights of debt they've put in those amounts to ensure that they help those people to afford to pay municipalities, so that municipalities can be able to pay Eskom, so that the infrastructure can be serviced and Eskom could have better financial standing to keep on servicing or keep on supplying. But if there are no harsh measures that are being put on municipalities, I think that there won't be any change. We're going to keep on having increases affecting the end user who are paying, which is unfair, that those who are paying must keep on getting the price hike. And on top of that, we sometimes get those power cuts and load shedding. So I think the greatest take in this case is to ensure that they recover whatever they need to recover from municipality, so that they don't keep on accumulating this debt.
Lindo, thank you so much for your views. Really do appreciate your time here on the channel. That is a Chief Executive Officer at Prominent Energy Solutions, Lindo Ngema, just weighing in on the public hearings conducted by Nersa, of course, in Cape Town today and tomorrow.